Soldiers from the 225th Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the Kursk region lured Russian forces into an ambush and destroyed them with HIMARS. As Forbes analyst David Axe writes, this successful Ukrainian tactic helps explain the huge Russian losses in the area. Thus, the Ukrainian fighters pretended to be defeated and retreated. But when the Russians rushed forward into the forest belt near the village of Sverdlikovo, the Ukrainian armed forces covered them with HIMARS. When the enemy, believing in their success, pulled significant forces into this square, cluster munitions were fired at them from HIMARS. As a result of the strike, a significant portion of the enemy's manpower was destroyed, the 225th Assault Battalion said in a statement. As Axe notes, the ambush, the result of careful coordination between the battalion headquarters, its forward companies and a neighboring artillery brigade, helps explain the enormous losses suffered by Russian and North Korean troops. Not only are the Russians and North Koreans attacking day after day along the same roads leading to the city of Sudza, the core of the Ukrainian bulge, they are increasingly doing so on foot and with little support. Infantry is vulnerable to artillery, and especially vulnerable when it is grouped in a pre-calculated kill zone, the analyst notes. As Axe notes, it is unclear how many Russian casualties the operation has inflicted. Typically, the largest Russian assaults can involve 50 vehicles and a few hundred troops. Most involve far fewer. But the most catastrophic Russian and North Korean attacks in recent weeks have left hundreds of dead and wounded after they failed. And the fact that the 225th Attack Battalion is particularly proud of the ambush speaks to the potentially enormous number of Russian casualties, he points out. Deputy Commander of the Tank Battalion of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Magura Yuri Gurko, said that during the battles in the Kursk region of the Russian Federation, the exchange fund is replenished daily, but the number of prisoners is now less than at the beginning of the operation on enemy territory. Senior officer of the Communications Department of the 80th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade, Petr Gaidashchuk, said that the tactics of the North Korean military in the Kursk differ from the Russians. The DPRK military in Kursk conducts assault operations in large groups of 50 people, moving across open terrain.
A soldier of the Russian army has said that 49 out of 50 soldiers were killed and one was seriously injured in one day as a result of another unsuccessful attack. The soldier complained that servicemen were not provided with the promised large amount of payment, and that the small amount of money paid to them was used for their needs at the front. He urged those who want to join the army to change their mind. He explained that the promises given to the soldiers are false, and the war is a one-way ticket, that is, there is no return from the war.
Буквально вчера ушло 50 человек. 50 человек. Сегодня одного раненого в очень сложном состоянии вернули, 300-го. Из 50 человек, вот, 49 было все 200-е, один 300-й с очень сложным ранением. И то, я не знаю, его сейчас в госпиталь увезли, и то просто непонятно, выживет он, не выживет сейчас. И, кстати, вот эти 3 миллиона, 5 миллионов, то, что обещают, это не всем скидывают. Народ, тут половина лохотронов. Подъемные вам скинут, и все. Вот я не вижу свои 3 миллиона еще до сих пор. Как мне изначально пришли какие-то подъемные, там, 50 тысяч, все. И то мне ты сам себе бронежилет покупаешь, ты сам себе покупаешь магазины, ты сам себе покупаешь штаны. Так что, народ, просто не ведитесь. Это просто приманка, понимаете. Билет в один конец, запомните. СВО это билет в один конец. Вчера люди, которые уходили, штурма, все, сегодня их нету. Просто там просто полная мясорубка, понимаете, мясорубка.
For weeks before the German parliamentary elections, tech billionaire Elon Musk addressed supporters of Germany's far-right party via video call Saturday. I very much hope that the alternative for Germany does do well and Alice Weidel does become chancellor. I think that would be very good for Germany, he said during an appearance at the party's official campaign launch in Halle. According to Associated Press, Germany is to vote in an early election on February 23 after Chancellor Olaf Scholz's three-party governing coalition collapsed in a dispute over how to revitalize the country's stagnant economy. The AfD's candidate for chancellor, Alice Weidel, has no realistic chance of becoming Germany's leader as other parties refuse to work with AfD. Musk previously caused uproar by backing the party in a guest opinion piece in a major newspaper ahead of the upcoming elections. He spoke via a video message at the campaign. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, let alone their great-grandparents, apparently referring to Germany's Nazi past. There is too much focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Weidel gave a speech at the event calling for tougher migration restrictions, saying, "On day one we will close the borders of our beloved fatherland." The comments came after a knife attack in Aschaffenburg by a rejected asylum seeker left a man and a 2-year-old boy dead and spilled over into the election campaign. Thousands of Germans protested in Berlin and other cities against the rise of the far-right and anti-immigrant party on Saturday. An opposition bloc of Germany's center-right parties, the Union, led by Friedrich Merz, is leading pre-election polls with AfD in second place.
I think you want more self-determination for Germany and for the countries in Europe, and less from Brussels. That's my opinion. I think there's too much bureaucracy from Brussels, too much control from sort of global elite, and when I've given talks at these sort of global government conferences, what I've said is there should be less global government. There should be more determination by individual countries, so I very much hope that the AfD does well, and that Alice Beadle does become chancellor. I think that would be very good for Germany. So you're doing the right thing, is what I'm saying. So Alice is good. Vielen Dank. I think there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, or even let alone their parents, their great-grandparents, maybe even.
An Tag 1, liebe Freunde, an Tag 1 werden wir die Grenzen schließen von unserem geliebten Vaterland. Wir werden unsere Grenzen schützen gegen illegale Migration. Es reicht. An Tag 1 werden wir gleichzeitig alle Ausreisepflichtigen, die sich hier illegal aufhalten, alle Kriminellen, alle Straftäter, werden wir abschieben. Sie müssen unser Land verlassen. Wir werden an Tag 1 das EEG, sämtliche Klimaschutzmaßnahmen, alle Ideologieprojekte werden wir an Tag 1 kippen, streichen. Es reicht. Und eine Nachricht an die CDU. Friedrich Merz fordert den Taurus, dieses Himmelfahrtsprojekt für die Ukraine. Liebe Freunde, liebe Wähler, macht die AfD stark genug, um diesen Wahnsinn zu verhindern. Mit uns gibt es keinen Taurus in die Ukraine.
Okay, all good?
Yes,
can you...